thanks for tuning into Sims Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be reviewing Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Steven. If you saw previous wrap-ups and TBR videos, you know that I went into this book with a lot of hesitancy. And the reason being, it's a gothic, dark academia story that is a retelling of Dorian Gray. My introduction to Laura Steven's writing was, I've said this so many times, Society for Soulless Girls. I hate that book. It's a retelling of Jekyll and Hyde. I like the motifs. I like the illusions. I just could not get behind the characterization, to be quite honest. And there's a scene where she breaks the cat's neck, and I'm just like not for it at all. I hated that part most of all. Like, I already didn't care much for the characters, so I hated that book. And I swore after that I'd never read another one of her books, because I'm like, you know what, maybe this author's just not for me. Fast forward, I've read several books by her, and I have loved consistently every single one. Our Infinite Fates, Silver Cloak, and now Every Exquisite Thing. I haven't arced this book, okay? I'm going to buy the physical copy. You know, I gave the arc away, and I'm going to buy the pretty one that has sprayed edges that was released because it's so good. It's so good. The fact that I went from really hating this author's writing style to now I'm her fan. I will still stand by my statement and be like, do not read Society for Soulless Girls. I think you can skip it. I don't think it's a really good book. To be perfectly honest. You know, I may love her now, but I stand by that. I think everyone should just start with Every Exquisite Thing. I like it because it's also very different. You know, Our Infinite Fates is a, you know, fantasy with reincarnation, Silver Cloak, high fantasy, epic, book nerdiness in there. It's quite great. This one is a retelling Dorian Gray, and I love the portrait of Dorian Gray. It always, you know, grinds my gears whenever they remake it and they totally missed the mark. I think the only one who really did it right was Penny Dreadful, and he's only a character in the overall show. He's not the center of it. I think, especially the one with Ben Barnes, I had such high hopes for that adaptation. I saw it in theaters, and I left feeling so utterly disappointed. I feel like people are just missing the mark, except for Penny Dreadful. So I'm very very picky when it comes to Dorian Gray adaptations, retellings. You know, I read that book multiple times growing up, so I know it. I even read it again for the Gothic course in college. So I think I've read it a total of 3 times. That one, Mary Shelley and Dracula, I've read 3 times. Frankenstein, but not the 1818 text. I should read that one. I need to read that one. So, I'm very particular when it comes to Dorian Gray retellings. I think Laura Steven, she nailed it. She absolutely nailed it. From her characterization to her storytelling, it is on point. And she does it through a feminist lens as well. You know, that's what a lot of her stories, you know, especially her, you know, Gothic ones, they tend to do things through a feminine lens. And it's so absolutely relatable. You have Penny, right? And she's suffering from alopecia, right? Her mom's a model, and she doesn't know who her father is. So she's going to this drama school, and she's so eager to prove that she is worthy of her mother's love because she feels like she doesn't get her mother's love. And, you know, spoiler alert, her mother also has her own portrait. And this is what I like. You know, Steven took the story an inch further. You know, whatever you're feeling at the moment of your portrait, if you're feeling cold and hungry, like Penny is, because she's also anorexic, but not anorexic in the sense to lose weight. She's anorexic because it is her only form of control, right? She's always going to be feeling cold and hungry. So she is stuck. Her emotions, her mental state, just like her mother's mental state was a state of pure and utter depression, right? She's always going to be stuck in that moment. And it's so, I don't want to say cathartic to read it, but it was relatable, you know, to all the girls who felt like they weren't enough, to all the daughters who felt like they needed or were responsible for their parents' happiness. It's like, no, the only happiness you're responsible for is your own. In fact, I mean, because once you're happy, then the rest kind of like falls into place. I say this as a girl who grew up kind of like that, and also now as a mother who, now I worry, you know, now I freak out like, oh my God, I really hope my kids don't feel like they have to always make me happy and always put their happiness first. You know, if I do my job right, they'll be okay. But it's like that constant anxiety that I have now. But it's just so relatable and it's very powerful. And I like that Stephen kind of took that a step further with the portrait making. And it's not just your physicality, it's your mental state as well. You know, your emotional state. It's all of you is frozen in this time, right? So she has to contend with all of that while also discovering someone's destroying these portraits. Not only does she want freedom from the portrait so that she can no longer feel hollow and empty and really learn to love herself and feel worthy of her future girlfriend, D&D player, Carolina? Yeah, Carolina. I love her, by the way. She's adorable and she needs to be protected at all costs. She's so sweet as far as side characters go. I loved all the side characters. Even some of the ones that were abrasive in the beginning, they grew on me by the end because you got to know them. There is a level of depth that goes to all of the characters as well as the side characters. And I love when authors devote as much attention to their side and minor characters who are only in there for like a couple pages that they do. You know, they devote the same amount of effort into writing them as they do writing their main characters who drive the story. So it's such a well-rounded, relatable, powerful story. I love the characterization. I love the story. And I love how Laura Stephen got it. I love it. It's so good. I love gothic lit. I love gothic lit. I love retellings when they're done right. You know, I love how there's a queer aspect to the story as well. I love how there's such a relatable feminist aspect to the story as well. I like how it makes you feel heard, you know? You know what I mean? I could talk about this book for hours. Hours. This is book club worthy material here. Honestly, I stand by that. This is book club worthy narrative. You know, I just think I'm still trying to like I wrote down my notes hoping that it would wrap my head around everything I want to say and everything I'm feeling when it comes to this book. But there's just like so much to do and to say with this book. I could probably spend hours talking about it. You know, the minor characters and their issues, you know, the secrets, the way we live. It's just so powerful, this story. And I just read it. 5 stars. 5 stars. This is a 5-star book. I was reading it and I'm like, that book is so good. And my boss is like, she's like, yeah, you were just singing its praises a minute ago. I'm like, yes, I'm going to continue singing its praises because it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, you know, really good storytelling, very powerful. I love the pacing for it as well. I love the mystery in the story about someone trying to solve the mystery of who is destroying the portraits. And I love the journey that Penny goes on in order to break away from the generational trauma, you know, first with her mom and now her, break away from that and learn to heal from that and learn to accept herself and love herself. Even though she does have alopecia, you know, she's going on the journey and she's learning to love herself and accept what cannot be changed. And kind of just like go with the flow, man. But also rise above it in a way that makes her happiness and is not detrimental to someone else's happiness, you know? I love her journey, and I think it's just so well done. So, I know I went on a couple tangents there, and I apologize. Sometimes I feel like you need backstory. I don't know why. I'm just a weirdo, but it's okay. Thank you for tuning in. On that note, thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading. Buy the book. You won't regret it.